Welcome back to the news at 10. The aspirants for the Lagos State governorship seat have begun comparing notes on what they've done and what they have in store for the residents of Lagos. Now, at the first governorship debate for the aspirants in Lagos today, which held under the auspices of the Diocese of Lagos West African Anglican Communion, the 9 aspirants presented reeled out plans and programs for the people if they're elected.
If you didn't know the other governorship candidates in Lagos State and their political parties, well, here are some of the faces of those who want Fashola's job when he steps down. For the records, it's the first time they will come under one roof to present plans and policies to Lagosians.
There is no pipe-bomb water. What is their plan?
Very distinguished audience we have here, cutting across all walks of life, and nothing short of a clear-cut line of action will suffice. So the floor opens.
The Kowa Party government is going to introduce railroadization. Railway lines side by side, motor cars on the road. All we need to do is to obey lawful orders.
When you look at our logo, Independent Democrats, you will see a tap of water. That is part of what we are going to give to you, Lagosian. We are going to give you enough water this time around to question the effects of hardship of 16 years of being uninterrupted democracy. 5% of procurement budget of Lagos State will be reserved for the youth. In other words, for youth, school leavers and fresh graduates of 3 years and below. It is unfair to have a civil service that is not well looked after. A civil service where leave allowances are not paid and all. The vote we have for our teacher development and welfare is 0.5% of that budget. It is not enough to look after teachers. So I say that Jimmy Agbaje is coming to the table with new ideas, with a fresh perspective.
Leave Agege, leave everybody. Poor people, you are asking for their vote, and you are creating an entire entity. Who are going to live there? We are still thinking about what to have. They have spent over 3 trillion.
Thank you.
Not to renovate Agege.
Thank you, sir.
Look at everywhere. It's a source of funding. It's a mega liability. Capital liability. Thank you.
You know, they talked about vested interest. Vested interest in the last 15 years that has made an irreversible growth and development of Lagos State. Vested interest that has made Lagos to be safer. We are talking about people who have the interest of ordinary Lagosians at heart.
I do not have the millions. I do not have any money anywhere. But I have God the Father. I do not have any Godfather. So I am going ahead for the ultimate goal. And I want you to support me. I want you to vote for me. We have a program already. I will turn Lagos around.
What I bring, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Lagosians, to this job is mature experience, track record.
Traffic congestion in Lagos State mostly has been caused by corruption. The last mile boys are there collecting money from the Danfo drivers. So they will park by the roadside, thereby causing a backlog at the back. So I am going to check corruption within the last mile.
It's interesting also to hear that so much can be done in education, security, wealth creation, optimizing governance, and infrastructural development.
In Labour Party, infrastructure for us, public infrastructure is to allow investment to take place through innovative finance tools, revolving loans to workers, funds, trusts, and banks, offering direct loans at low interest rates to the public and private entities, and also offer grants. That is for us.
One key derivable from this debate is the bringing to the fore varied sides to governance by the contenders who were relatively unknown widely before now. Therefore, who may become the next state superintendent may be decided on convincing policy direction and actions. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Politics. Well, public schools in Abia State have not received adequate attention from those responsible for running them, and this has given rise to an increase in private institutions, and that's in spite of the government's efforts to improve the quality of education in the state. Now, what is now a cause for concern to parents is the manner in which the private proprietors are cashing in on the situation. Our big story tonight takes a look at this development.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Education is pivotal to the growth and development of any nation, which is why it's necessary to accord it its pride of place. Over the years, a seeming lack of attention by various governments has led to a decay in infrastructure and dearth in manpower in schools, resulting in an increase in the numbers of private schools. A visit to some of the public schools in the state shows that while the students are willing to learn, the teachers are nowhere to be found.
I feel happy because I feel like if I come to school, I'll be able to write notes or to read, but nobody will be there to escort me.
An attempt to speak with those saddled with the responsibility of catering to public schools in the state, the Ministry of Education and Nigeria Union of Teachers on why schools are not functioning optimally proved abortive, as nobody was willing to offer information. However, the reverse is the case in private schools visited. They were seen in session.
We opened yesterday, and a good number of our students, up to 208 of them, turned up for classes. Normal classes resumed. All the teachers were present. Today again we are here, and we are continuing with classes up till 4:10.
Why I'm enjoying private school is because their facilities are more equipped than public schools, government schools.
Parents who patronize these private schools share their thoughts and experience.
So the fad of the moment is that every parent wants to send his or her children or wards to private schools just to show class, and I don't know if it is that when you get down to the nitty-gritty of what the private schools offer, you find out that the personnel are not as qualified, trained as what you have in the public schools.
Every guardian wants the best, for the wards that God has given under his or her care. So we try to go extra miles and sacrifice, cut down on our budgets, things that are not necessary, avoid them to be able to, make up to pay for the private school. Though it's very painful, but we are looking at the long-term, effect.
It's instructive to note that the state government has made efforts in recent times to improve the quality of education in Abia by rehabilitating and building new schools, providing of scholarship, books and other learning aids. But it seems administrators and teachers have taken to various excuses, including poor remuneration, as reasons they do not show up in classes.
When the teachers there, they are not putting on so much effort to train these children. Some of them have taken to their businesses. So it's not what we expect from them, because they are being paid with the taxpayers' money. And if you say the government has not paid you today, that is why you've not gone to school today. What about when the arrears of the payment are made? If the arrears are made, how do you pay back for the months you stayed away from teaching?
There are some reasons why you put your child in private school. Because some teachers, even some teachers in public schools, their child is in private school because they know what they do. Sometimes they go on strike.
The question now is, what is the future of education in a state where private schools are in total dominance? And what happens to parents who cannot afford the exorbitant fees charged by these schools? Who monitors the activities of these schools to ensure standards are kept?
Main One, a leading provider of innovative telecommunication services and network solutions for businesses, launched its premier T3 Lekki data center. The good news is that the facility will be managed under a new subsidiary.
Main One launched its operations in 2010 with the first privately owned open access subsea cable and has continued to make innovation and investment in the country's market. The company has shown it means business with something new. It now boasts of the largest data center you can find in West Africa.
As we sought to add value and further drive the impact of our investment, we came to the realization that commercial data centers are going to be critical to the growth of our digital economy in West Africa, as it is indeed in other parts of the world. Hence our decision to further invest 7 billion naira in this new line of business.
The 600 rack facility is designed to meet TIA 942 standards and has an open access and carrier neutral facility already interconnected with all major telecom operators and internet services providers in Nigeria and Ghana.
It is the only Tier 3 data center in Nigeria. In other words, whether it is Main One cable and its cable or our data center, everything that we do in this corporation is in line with best practice.
The Minister for Communication and Technology, Omobola Johnson, commended the launch of MDXI Data Center, an initiative that will further drive the realization of the National Broadband Plan in Nigeria.
I think this is a very significant addition to the ICT infrastructure of this country. As you know, it's a Tier 3 data center, which means that in terms of security and also uptime, it really is one of the highest standards in the world. And having that in Nigeria, where we're trying to build a digital economy, I think is tremendously important. It represents confidence of the private sector in the ICT sector. I think that's also important. And it also really is a very important addition for us to ensure that we actually have local content.
The MDXI Tier Lekki Data Center will provide corporate customers with world-class co-location, cloud and managed services, and the first set of customers will enjoy services starting from next week.
First Bank.
Let's take a look at the rest of the day's business news now. Despite the current challenges facing the economy, the federal government has given the assurance that it has all it takes to overcome the tough times. This assurance was given by the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, during a closed-door meeting with some business executives in Lagos. Some of the executives who spoke to journalists after the meeting agreed that now is not the time to panic, but want to partner with the federal government. Our correspondent, Tempo Ashaju, has more in this report.
The lingering uncertainties in the Nigerian economy appear to be a major concern to the private sector as the fall in crude oil price and elections preparations seem to leave businesses in dilemma. To address this situation, a forum of chief executives and entrepreneurs is put together in Lagos with the coordinating minister of the economy, Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, in attendance.
The dialogue between the CEOs, entrepreneurs and the finance minister held behind closed doors as journalists were prevented from listening to the session.
After the meeting, however, we managed to pose a question to her, but her response was brief.
Just to get your word for the uncertainties in the economy right now for all the entrepreneurs.
We have the ability the tools to manage. The economy is going to be tough, but we can get through it.
But it seems the top executives are satisfied with her response.
On the banking side, collective action is being taken. In the last 1 month, all bank CEOs have met at least twice with the CBN governor to look at policies and even change policies that were recently put in place to respond to the changes. So it's a collaborative effort between the banking industry, the Ministry of Finance, and the CBN governor.
So I think the general mood and consensus was that, okay, you know what, yes, panic is not the right strategy. Let us sit down and appreciate how we deal with each issue as it comes. Let us, what you do have is a listening minister.
In the short term, There may be no end in sight for the economic imbalance, but the chief executives agree that opportunities abound in all sectors of the economy. Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
After 3 consecutive days of bearish trade, the Nigerian equities market rebounded today owing to an upward movement in share prices of some market heavyweights. BC Adebayo has a summary of today's session.
Hello and welcome to the stock market reports. The Nigerian equities market staged a slight recovery after 3 consecutive days of bearish trade. The all-share index appreciated by 0.25% to end the day's session at 28,811.39 with a market capitalization of 9.61 trillion naira. Surplus led 20 other gainers for this session, including Guinness and Total. On the flip side, 23 stocks received the cold shoulder from investors, and top on that list is Lafarge Africa. Ashaka Cement and Guarantee Trust Bank also shed some weight. The top 3 contributors to market turnover were Guarantee Trust Bank, FBN Holdings and Wapik Insurance. When the closing bell rang, volume traded was 278.19 million shares, valued at 3.17 billion naira, and exchanged in 4,731 deals. And that ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Thank you, BC. Now, in a bid to consolidate on its ongoing Season of Surprises campaign, 2 people have won 10 million naira each in the ongoing MTN Cash Quest promo, and the promo is targeted at new and existing subscribers of MTN. The winners, selected at an event held in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, is the first since the promo started in December last year. Our correspondent, Amy Thompson, reports.
MTN's 2015 theme, A Year of Better Me, comes in many packages. One of such is the Cash Quest promo. Since December 4, 2014, subscribers have been participating by dialing *170# and subsequently answering general knowledge questions. The winners have been invited to receive their awards: 3 40-inch LCDs, 2 2.5 kVA generators, 1 mobile phone, 18 1 million naira cash winners, and 2 grand winners of 10 million naira each.
For the first time, when I received the call, I did not believe the girl that called me. I told her that she's lying. So she now told me that she called with call center 180. Like if she's a 419 of a day, that she will use her direct number call.
Somebody was like, yeah, I'm updating my profile. And what's my name? So I told her my name. And he said that I won 10 million naira, and I started crying.
There were also 2 1 million naira winners rewarded for joining the network in December. The promo continues until March 13, and MTN promises that it will continue to be an easy sale for subscribers.
Those things are already preloaded and already preset. So there's not a time when we come and say, oh, now make it more difficult. No, it's the same level of difficulty we have that you will still have now. Nothing changes really.
The year's theme is centered around the internet. MTN considers it a priority to provide platforms which will give subscribers effective usage of data.
We're also partnering with device manufacturers, the people that make phones, so that people can also have access to phones that can support good data experience. And the most important thing we're also doing is exposing Nigerians to internet content that are in their local languages.
Winners are expected from all levels every month until March 13, when the Cash Quest promo ends. Amy Thompson reporting for Channels Television News.
And that's it on Business News. The rest of the news at 10 continues. GlaxoSmithKline, also known as GSK, has launched 2 products into the market: palatable Panadol suspension and cod liver emulsion for children. The Panadol comes with aids to help parents administer recommended doses, while the cod liver oil now has a pleasant taste. Our correspondent Mary Alala Yusuf reports.
Doctors will tell you malnutrition is a major cause of child mortality in sub-Saharan Africa, and though the rates of death have gone down due to better immunization practices, the level of malnutrition has not been significantly reduced because of micronutrient deficiency, specifically of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins A and D, and calcium.
You see they act at the level of the intestine, they act in the liver, they act in the brain. But where is omega-3 most in the body? The highest density of omega-3 is in the retina.
That's why GlaxoSmithKline is proud of their 2 brands: Panadol, uniquely formulated to be pleasing to the child's palate, and Scott's cod liver emulsion, which contains essential micronutrients. With these benefits in mind, GSK unveils the products to this roomful of doctors, pharmacists, and others.
It's an emulsion, so it makes the micronutrients in this product easily available to the kids. It has calcium, which is for strong bones, and also the vitamin D, which enables absorption of the micronutrients.
Panadol for children has been in existence for about 50 years, and Scott's cod liver emulsion for over 100. But they are just being introduced into the Nigerian market.
Panadol suspension is a paracetamol product, as is recommended by the World Health Organization, but it comes in a strawberry flavor. Again, you want to make sure that the kid is willing to take the medicine. But importantly, it also comes with 2 devices to help mom give it to the child better. The first is that the dosing information comes in both weight and age group, so that you can make a better decision about how much you need to be giving your child. But also, it comes with a child-resistant cap.
GlaxoSmithKline believes in operating by global standards of pharmacovigilance to promote their products, and they say it took 2 years for them to bring a brand that would live up to the heat and humidity of the Nigerian climate. Mary Alala Yusuf, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, more injury worries for Arsenal as Mikel Arteta and Mathieu Debuchy face 3 months layoff. That's on sports. See you once again.